why can't I tell nobody? Like, I didn't understand why I couldn't tell anybody this mantra. Like, what was the big secret about it? YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I am Christian, and this is my channel, Christian Not Religion, where I give back my 11 years of being a spiritual devotee to you guys. Hopefully deliver you guys some type of value to help you out on your journey, if you're on a spiritual journey, or if you're collecting information for this life cycle or another life cycle. This is like the one-stop shop for all people on the path of non-duality. Today I'm going to talk about the process of what triggered my spiritual awareness and wanting to become a spiritual devotee, what triggered that within my life, and why also I choose a life of being unattached and not being involved. Now, this all started for me, I want to say back in 2011. I was at work one day going through an email, and in that email I had seen a word called transcendental. And when I saw the word transcendental, I was like, what does this word mean? Why is this capturing my attention? So what ended up happening was I Googled the word transcendental, and then the book by David R. Hawkins, How to Transcend the Levels of Consciousness, had popped up. And also transcendental meditation popped up. And I was like, what is this stuff? So, like, I naturally was intrigued by it, and I end up looking into transcendental meditation and what was meditation and how to learn how to do meditation. And I end up signing up for the course. Now, back then, transcendental meditation was only offered to like people in Hollywood, like Oprah Winfrey, Ellen DeGeneres, like the top scientists and doctors, because those were the people who can afford it. Because I believe back then transcendental meditation was like $15,000-$16,000. Like, who's just gonna pay out of pocket $15,000-$16,000 to learn a meditation? I was able to do the meditation because TM, Transcendental Meditation, is a non-for-profit, and they had a course where they offered a discounted rate for people who were underprivileged and couldn't afford it. And back then I was broke, and I ended up getting a scholarship where I only had to pay $100 to do the course. So I was just like, this is a W, like I'm totally doing it. So I paid the $100 to learn it, and I learned the meditation, and I will say the experience was very intimidating. When you learn TM, it's like a 3-day class. It's either 3 days or 4 days. I think it was 3 days, but it may have been 4 days. But you go there and they explain the program, and you have to fill out all these questionnaires. If I'm remembering this correctly, the questionnaires was asking, like, how do you feel after doing transcendental meditation? Do you have thoughts of killing someone? Just that was the world of the questions that they were asking when you learn this mantra. But once you go through the 3-day course, they put you in a room with one of the instructors. The instructor, before they give you the mantra, they explain to you that it's only your mantra. You can't tell anybody this mantra. You can't even tell your family the mantra. Like, it's only your mantra. And it's like, okay, like, why can't I tell nobody? Like, I didn't understand why I couldn't tell anybody this mantra. Like, what was the big secret about it? But anyway, so they give you the mantra. He gave me my mantra. My mantra was Shireen, 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 Shireen. That was my mantra. So, like, you repeat this mantra nonstop. And then what happens is the mind focuses on the mantra, and it literally relaxes the entire body, and you end up falling asleep. But you're completely aware that you're like sleeping. It's not like you're unconsciously asleep. You're totally aware that you're asleep. And that right there was automatic, like, observation number one. It's like, I'm aware that this body is sleep. Like, it was the first time in my life that I was aware that I was aware, like, that this of the presence of the body itself. But I felt like the body wasn't me then, because I was just aware of it. Fast forward, I started reading David R. Hawkins books. So the first book I read by David R. Hawkins was Transcending the Levels of Consciousness. That was the first book I read by him. That book mixed with that meditation and doing that for like the first 2 years of me being a spiritual devotee has really shifted my life forever, because it started the process of purification in my life. That intention of learning that meditation and reading that book started the process of purification in my life. And for people who don't know what intentions are, an intention is an action. So an intent is something that you believe and you put energy in action behind that intent. That is what an intention is. My intent of wanting to be peaceful and create healing within my life triggered the process of purification. And that process revealed a ton of things within the Black culture for me, and also a ton of things within society. Because you have to understand, we aren't separate from anything, and nothing is hidden. Nothing is hidden. Nothing is hidden. So this process started my awareness of paying attention to people and their intent. And I really started to see the dark night of the soul within myself. And that was extremely alarming. I would never forget looking in the mirror and witnessing, like looking in the eye of this body in the mirror and witnessing it move by itself. That was the first time in my life I really started questioning a lot, and it was a very terrifying moment in my life. During this time, I was working at CVS Pharmacy, and I remember being at work and just being aware that people were sharing the same thoughts. I was checking people out, and I was noticing that people bought the same thing, and I'm like, but they weren't together, but they bought the same thing. Like literally, like one person came up and they had toothpaste, a bag of Ruffles, some pads. Literally 3 people after that person had the exact same items, and I was like, what the fuck? Like it like my awareness of everything shifted. I was so aware, and I ended up going back to the instructor, and I was like, I really need to talk to you about something, and I have to be honest. So the instructor was a husband and a wife. I walked in and there was another student there, and I was explaining, I'm aware that people share thoughts, and I need to know why I'm aware of this. And he asked the other student to leave. During this process of me learning this meditation, it started the process of purification. And I, at the time, was living with my grandmother, and my grandmother is a schizophrenic. And I had became aware her body shares a consciousness with another thing. That's the best way I could describe it. It's like her consciousness shares, her body shares a consciousness with some other entity. Like, and I became aware of that, and it scared the shit out of me. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It scared the fuck out of me, and I ended up going back to the instructor and explaining all of this to him. He didn't really say anything. He was like, well, let's go do some yoga. And so we did some yoga, and I was like, dude, I feel so much better. And he was like, I can't tell you what to do. And this was his exact words after we finished the yoga. He was like, I can't tell you what to do. The only thing I could do is recommend some books and tell you that you have to be brave. And when he said that, I didn't really understand why he said it. And looking back at it now, I completely understand now why he said that. And it's because you aren't separate from anyone on this planet. Meaning that a part of you has been a part of us is under the impression that we have privacy, and a part of us is under this impression that we're separate from someone, and there's something in society that knows that you are naive. It's the dark night of the soul. So when you become aware that you're not separate from anything, it triggers the field of consciousness, but it also triggers the dark night of the soul and all things connected to that. And it really did, if I'm being honest with you, put me on this course where I'm at now, where I don't want to be involved with people on a attachment level, because it's another form of manipulation. It's another finesse from the dark night of the soul. There aren't 8 billion people on this planet. There's only one spirit and one soul. And the obstacle for humanity is the idea of the void in space, because the void in space is the dark night of the soul. It doesn't move, it sits there. Just like the presence of Jesus Christ doesn't move and it sits there, it's the same thing with the dark night of the soul. It doesn't move, it sits there. And you're, based on your intentions, is determining the direction that you're going to go into based on your intent. I bring all this up to just give you guys the experience of my spiritual awareness and why I choose to not have family in my life, why I choose not to have friends in my life, why I choose not to be in a relationship, why I choose not to be involved in this world. The reason I choose not to be involved in this world as a spiritual devotee is because it does not exist. And as much as you want something to have meaning, ultimately you're going to have to undo your attachment to that thing eventually, to get back to the reality that none of this means nothing. And that's just the truth. And I know most people may not be there karmically in their life, but I am super grateful that I have been put in a space in my life where I'm able to undo my negative karma and leave this place, and to give back the experience of what this process has been like for my life. And this may not apply to your life, but I'm just sharing my experiences of what it has been like for me for the past 11 years and why I choose this life. And hopefully my vulnerability and my truth can somewhat provide you some type of value. And that's really my intent. So that's all I have for you today. I'm going to get back on the road because I do have a ride right now. And if this is your first time checking out the content, I'm Christian, and this is my podcast YouTube series, Christian Not Religion, where I give back my 11 years of being a spiritual devotee to you guys, with hopefully delivering you guys some type of value to help you guys out on your journey. If your first time coming across this channel, consider subscribing and leaving comments below. And that's all I have for you guys today. I appreciate you guys so much. God bless you, and I'll see you guys on the next video.